Young Francie was a straight A student, predominantly because I was bribed to get good grades, meaning if I got straight A's, I got $25, and if I got anything less than an A, I got no dollars. So I worked really hard at school, but I enjoyed it. I was the kid playing every sport in every club, and I was the super girly girl. Most people don't know this about me. I grew up doing beauty pageants, but I also loved riding four-wheelers in the mud and getting dirty. So I pretty much, as a little kid, was like wanting to do everything, participate in everything, be a part of everything, and was an overachiever. I was definitely an overachiever, and I give my dad that credit because he bribed me with money. I would say now as an adult, if I had similar characteristics to me as a little girl, I would say some of them, yes, because I definitely am still very driven, very motivated. I want to be the best at anything that I do, which I was very much like that as a little girl. So what I call my past life, or before JT Fox life, I went to school and still going into college thought I was gonna be a marine biologist. And I literally sat down in one of the top schools in the country for marine biology in your Marine Science 101 class, and there was 350 students in the class. And I had an economics professor that literally had us do this project where we kind of were planning for our future. Like, what type of house would we buy? What type of car would we drive? Like, all these things to get us thinking. But it all started with, how much money are you gonna make in the major or the job that you're anticipating getting coming out of college? And I realized there was very minimal jobs, and those jobs only paid about $30,000 a year. And I started looking at the houses that I liked, the cars that I liked, and 1 + 1 was not equaling 2. So I was like, okay, what else do I like in school right now? And I really liked my economics professor in my economics class. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna go into business. I'm gonna be a business major, which is everything I said I would never do. My first job was in media sales. So I started in a really, really small market, Wilmington, North Carolina, selling radio. From there, I got into television in South Carolina. From there is where I ended up in Orlando working for Hearst. And from there, I ended up moving to Philadelphia to work for a NBC station that was owned by NBC Comcast. And I was like, this is my dream. And I was miserable. And I was just like, this was my plan. This is everywhere I wanted to be. This is everything I strategized. So then I started rethinking everything. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Who do I want to work for? And at the time, real estate investing was really popular. So I was like, okay, I have cash that I'm making because I'm doing really well. Maybe I can invest it in real estate. And I had a business partner who also wanted to get into that as well. And he was doing more of kind of the researching, the studying, kind of all of that stuff. And through that, he invited me to come with him to a conference in Las Vegas. And we go to this conference in Las Vegas, and I'm sitting there listening to speaker after speaker who were all very boring to me. And then a speaker got up on stage, and his name was JT Fox. And about 2 minutes in, I was like, that's who we need to teach us. Because he said something really, really important to me that has stuck with me to this day. He said, do you want to build a business, or do you want to create a job for yourself? My journey with JT has been a very long one, and started with me walking into the marketing department and not really knowing what I was getting into. As a person in the marketing department, I really worked on not just how do we generate leads, but what are all the emails that customers are receiving? What are all the communications that customers are receiving at the event? What are they getting when somebody makes a purchase? What happens really just started thinking through not just marketing in a lead generation, but marketing in the overall customer experience with the organization. I would just test things that I thought might work better. And I would only share something with him when it worked. So I think through that, he started to see that I would try different things, test. I wasn't just doing what he told me to do. I was thinking outside the box a little bit. So I slowly started to, I'm gonna say, get my hands into maybe other departments and start to question processes. We got to a point where I was helping a lot, giving him a lot of ideas. The marketing was working a lot better. We were generating a lot more leads. We were getting a much better ROI, a much lower cost per conversion. And he started asking me to speak at events, which I was terrible at in the beginning. I was also seeing the other side of the business. I was seeing the event side. I was seeing what happens at events with the customer interaction. So I started to bring more ideas to the table. And as a result, I think that was the beginning of JT's former CEO. And I'm not gonna say we didn't get along. He just didn't really care for me. Got to a point where his former CEO didn't want me as part of the company anymore. So that's where I kind of transitioned from being in marketing to JT literally said, you know what, you just work for me. And it finally kind of came to a head with JT and his former CEO, where he ended up leaving the company. JT took back over as CEO. And at that point, I knew how much work that was gonna be for him. And I literally was just like, I'm here. What do you need me to do? How can I help? And we did a company-wide call one day. And on that call, he actually said, you know, I just want everyone to know I'm the new CEO of the company. I'm, going to be more involved and take a more active role in the day-to-day. But as a result, Francie is now the new COO. So I actually found out I was going to be the COO of the company on a conference call with the entire company at the same time everyone else. And after a year and a half of that, and JT really realizing he can't actively be the CEO and be the front man and the brand and the founder of the company, it was a year later that he actually asked me if I would take over as the CEO of the company. I really am in love with what I do, and I'm in love with having the next challenge, having the next obstacle, and being able to figure out what that is. But what I would also like to say, and what I see next for me in my future, I love my life. I love my dogs, I love my house, I love my friends, but it's gonna be finding that person that I can share all of this with. And I think that's part of what's gonna be next for me also, because I feel like I've worked really, really hard and I've gotten to a really great place. And I know I'm not gonna stop working hard, but now I wanna be able to enjoy the cool things that I get to enjoy in my life and have someone that will enjoy that with me. I wanna be able for people to remember me as the person that helped them kind of break through that point when they didn't think they would be able to. So we all have those moments where we're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna break through. I don't know how to get to where I want. And to be the person that's like, that thing Francie said, or that encouragement Francie gave me, or that advice that Francie gave me really made a big difference. The other thing that has always been a dream of mine, I would love to be able to go to Thailand, build an elephant sanctuary, to be able to rescue all those elephants you see like in Thailand that the tourists are getting rides on that you can just tell are not living their happiest elephant lives. And maybe it won't be elephants, maybe it'll be dogs, or maybe it'll be zebras, I don't know. But I know that another piece of my legacy will be building something for animals where they can be rescued and saved and live their happiest animal life.